All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Arena podcast, aka the WAPcast. Today, Firas and I are joined by SWC player Sinip. Thank you for joining us, man.
Hello. Yeah,
So-
thanks for having me.
Nothing else.
Yeah, no problem. But yeah, before we get started, if you have not already, please subscribe, okay? We're trying to get to 1K. So tell your dad, tell your dog, tell your dad's dog, dude, just subscribe,
your
okay? But yeah,
The whole farmhouse in here.
so yeah, I mean,
So
getting into RTA here, we've had about 4 days at this point with the new patch. And RTA is like just in shambles.
I love it.
yeah,
Like you said it perfectly right before we started, where it's like if you don't see the red stars in the rank next to the names and just saw the drafts, like you would think you're looking at Fighter 3. Like it makes no
true.
sense. So I mean, how's it going for you guys? Are you enjoying it? Like, is it what's up?
I mean, honestly, I think it's really fun to look at because it's just so many units that you didn't see before, or not really, and no synergies at all, but it kind of works somehow. But I think people are still kind of trolling at that point and just trying stuff. So I think it's gonna be better in some weeks,
Yeah,
probably.
I'm really liking it personally. I love the chaos because there's no nothing came out of patch other than Water Holly, which was like straight up like, okay, this is one good thing. Nothing else really. Nothing for turn 1 was good, which is great for me. Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, turn 2 got a little boost, obviously, with Water Holly and Patter. And was there another one?
Well, they
remember.
got a boost from turn 1 getting nerfed too, though.
That yeah, like it's both of them coming at each other. But the thing is, like, unless you're going heavy RNG, turn 2 doesn't really work all that much. Like, if you're good at pivoting early on, then you're having a good time too. Like, it depends on your definition of a good time, but I'm liking I'm liking the chaos. Is all it is. I love it.
It's great.
Yeah, I cannot I cannot co-sign that. Like I hate these matches, man. Like, and honestly, this has been like the easiest week of RTA of my life. Like, my win rate has been insane, but the games are just not fun. Like, it's like I'm fighting all these units with just like 15% chance to do this, 15% chance to do that, and it's like even when I win, it's like it doesn't feel that satisfying. It's like their 15s just didn't activate. Like, okay.
You're still doing turn 1 though, right?
Yeah, of course.
That's why
I think
gave up on that. Yeah,
for me, for example, I think my win rate since the patch is like 90% at least.
Yeah.
but it's just because people are literally trolling.
Yeah.
Like, if they would just pick normal stuff, then they would win. So yeah, it's really weird.
We can't like, what do you mean by normal stuff though? What's normal right now? What do you think?
I mean, anything that people played before the patch.
I think the Shizuka nerf has some people in a fucking tailspin though.
Honestly, I think the Shizuka nerf only matters for people who play with a lot of passives, like Ragdoll Shizuka people, or because for me, for example, Shizuka didn't change at all. I'm using only units which all have like good and efficient skills.
So you just vent them instead, and you're fine.
Yeah, it usually I usually just I even used S2 on them before the nerf. So why would I change now?
Yeah, she's lost her ability though to just like automatically duel a Masha and automatically duel a Moore. Like that has hurt her. But I mean, Ragdoll is like almost a 40% win rate or pick rate unit in Guardian right now. So those players, in my opinion, are like, what the fuck do I do? My Shizuka is just not functioning the way she used to.
Yeah, they just picked the cookie instead of Shizuka now. That's how it works.
Yeah. But those teams feel even more free. I mean, unless they just really luck sack you, you know? So I think those players are probably having the biggest trouble adjusting.
I was a little bit worried about the Shizuka nerf being too hard. After like going through the draft phase, and that's when I realized that maybe it's perfectly fine how she is. So we were talking about last swap about reducing her S3 one more cooldown. Because the fact that she can't buff herself, we thought it was maybe too much. Like she's off the map, but I think she's actually considered balanced now at a good point.
It's
right?
pretty cool to hear that you thought it's such a big nerf, because when I read the balance patch, I was literally thinking Shizuka doesn't change at all. I thought she's basically the same unit than before. Nothing changed.
I thought they killed her. I thought they took her behind the barn and just like put her down.
Yeah. I never used Shizuka though, right? Like the only time I would really be worried about Shizuka was the turn 2 comps who would just steal all the crap I was using, right? And it just the
only unit she ever used S2 on was always herself. Like that was the only unit you would ever S2 when you're using Ragdoll, Verd, Leo, another Sack unit, and then a Shizuka. She's only there to S2 herself. So like she's just gone.
But like when the comparison with let's say I was a Shizuka user and I used her with my turn 1 comp if I was using it at the time, or like Dribbles I think is currently doing, or anyway if he had a Shizuka.
He doesn't have Shizuka.
But assuming, but we know he would use it the way that Penis is actually. Sinip is saying he would use it. I think we're in long enough that I'm gonna.
No, we're good. We're out of the danger zone.
We're out of the danger zone. Pee. Okay, anyways, as long as you don't. Like in that situation, she's still good. She's still a great unit. It's just turned the carry for the Ragdoll owners for having a Shizuka as well as gone. But I'm happy. She's still good.
I don't even think Shizuka was that good in those drafts.
A lot of times she was just the ban, and then you just kind of dealt with the rest. But she just always gave that element of like, your Wind Robo better not miss on this particular unit, because if it does, you're done. It's just it just always gave that element of a chance to just swing the match immediately.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm glad that she's gone. For the most part. I think I've maybe fought one or two since the patch. Like she's been almost non-existent since the patch for me in my matches.
I'm still seeing it a lot, personally, and I'm still banning it quite a bit too, which is just maybe it's just I'm either overreacting or she still is that good.
But honestly, the skill that scares you is the S3, not the S2 on herself. Right? I mean, the S2 on herself helps her in the long run, but in general, you are scared of the S3, not of the S2.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But it's just now you see it less often, which is in the match. True. And that's all it needs, right? If it was an ATB pushback, then obviously we'd say nothing changed about Shizuka, but when it's just a static effect, would you call it in this one? Well, like not static, but nothing no bars are moved, so like it's still like you need to know when to use that skill before you that's what I'm getting at.
The big change though now is that like you can't just freely throw up her S3 just for the like immunity's sake. Like you used to be able to just do that and be like, whatever, I'm a proc and 2 S2s away from just having it back, and then then I'll be fine. Like you can't do that anymore. Like if you're not getting value out of like the debuff side of it, you almost like can't even use that skill, which I think is what some of those like more RNG passive based teams are realizing, that they can't. She can't just be their Wusa and their win condition. Like, so. But I mean, let's talk about this this water holly parry. Like, I still can't figure out if this is a meme. Like, if Comptos is messing with us. Like, everyone has just like crowded around this unit, and she's being first picked. She's in every match. Like, what the fuck's going on? Someone dissect this for me, because I don't understand.
So I honestly think she is a really good unit. I think she will also be used in like a month, but I think she's not as great as people. I mean, I have seen so many people who just say, if you don't have her, you're fucked, or you can't play anymore, or RTA is unplayable or something. I have heard so many people saying that, and that's
drastic.
I think she's most of the time not even picked well. They just pick her so they have her. But then the enemies don't draft a team.
No one has
that can kill her.
counters. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they just pick the stuff they picked before, and that doesn't work for them. But that's just their fault, and not the unit being OP.
Yeah.
So
I
think she has a lot of counters actually, like not even direct counters, but hard CC her. She's done. She does nothing anymore. Use immunity on your own team, because people who use her most of the time don't even use strips. So last pick a Wusa, for example, and go with a CC team and last pick Wusa, and they are kind of screwed already. So I think it's honestly, I think she's fine. She's good, but she's not crazy OP.
And just in case you guys didn't watch the last episode where I mentioned it, I'll mention it here as well. If she is under CC, that damage negation she does not activate at all. Right? It's not just she doesn't counterattack. She doesn't 15% damage negation does not
parry.
Happen.
Yeah.
The parry. There we go. That's the word. So there's more than immunity and stunning her with an Ethna. I was gonna say Ethna's a really good unit right now. What's coming out to be a very good unit.
Well, it's hard though. Like Ethna's difficult because like if
enough damage.
Yeah, if they parry like one or two of yours, you don't hit hard enough. So it's like
and even if they pick like most of the holy berries I've seen have like plus 20k HP ish.
Yep.
And like plus 1.3k defense or something, and on crit damage. But another Etna can't get that to 50%. No way.
No.
So you have to kind of lucksack to land it.
Yeah.
It depends on the Ethna build. I'm not saying like 50% stuff. I'm not saying to always bring it on.
It depends on the Hollyberry kill. Build, not the Ethna. The Ethnas are pretty much all the same, but the Hollyberry, like mine, you might get mine to 50.
Damage, you get yours to 50.
Yeah. But it's also not. I'm not first picking this unit, right? If I'm fighting an Ethna, I'm not taking my Hollyberry. Like I'm not just spamming this unit, so it doesn't really matter.
You are already at a point where the most of the people are not yet. They just pick it in every match and hope that they win.
Yep.
That's the meta right now.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I just started first picking it today, like before we started this episode. So refresh for me, at the time of this recording was an hour ago, right? I only had 1 hour to burn some wings. I still had all 30. I said, let me just try being a degenerate for this last hour. I first pick Water Holly, and I go into Patter, Tian Lang. And then I've had 2 people just leave in the draft when I did that, which was hilarious. 3 points. But the other ones is like almost a free win. Now, obviously, it's because of Tian Lang Patter, but I can see where first picking Water Holly makes how like everyone else react a little bit weird, because I still also went to Josephine Wind Monkey, and I just went like, stupid. Turn 0 garbage.
And this will be Firas' last time on the podcast. We've lost him.
He's such a talented player.
His opinions are no longer valid, unfortunately.
Oh, I'm just saying I want to try it out. I want to see how bad it is. It's pretty bad.
Honestly, I think I would pick the water cookie quite often if I had her, but I just don't have her. So I wouldn't first pick her though. No way.
No.
It would be like a last pick as a counter to multi-hit stuff for me.
Yeah, she's eventually going to turn into Douglas, where it's like
I think so,
you still keep your Douglas ruined because there's going to be teams that just cannot deal with him, and he will automatically beat them, and she'll be in that same spot where it's like, oh, this guy brought no strips.
I think she's a little better,
She's more versatile. Like you could keep her in your core, and like find teams that work with her. Where it's like you can't really do that with Douglas. But I think, like most people, it's going to be like, this is a 5th pick. Every time I see a team that has no strips and very little hard CC, like ragdoll teams a lot of times don't really have many strips or hard CC, they're just going to slam this thing down last, and that team's going to have like a bitch of a time trying to kill her. So, but
I think that's where she would be.
I still rank her way below Douglas, though, in terms of...
She's less of an automatic win, but I think she beats a wider range of things because you basically have to have a strip, and there's not that many strips. Like You know, you're gonna run out of
like
units to pick strips. It's like,
But I think the units she kind of counters are also units that strip, right? Because she counters a lot of AOE multi-hit stuff,
like more.
right? That's
Yeah.
like more CP even or stuff like that. That's what she kind of counters, and they all have strips. So
CP's a little rough for her, but more she beats the shit out of more.
But I think as long as she doesn't get a random despair stun against those teams, she still kills them. Or she still handles them quite well.
Yeah.
What do you think about? I was gonna say. Go ahead.
Yeah, but one despair stun and she's dead.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Speaking of random despair stuns, I saw on your Instagram that it was your Instagram, right? You went to Vio More?
I am my most Vio now, yeah.
I know. How do you like it? What do you think?
Honestly, I was struggling so much with Josephine, and I also kinda changed my draft a little, so my turn 1 stuff, I can't play turn 1, I'm not fast enough, but I'm picking the more CP stuff against like slow teams, against like more long first pick, Shizuka first pick, Masha first pick, stuff like that. And against that, it works so much better for me. I love the Viomo, it's so good. And
I imagine there's a lot of good rotation, right? And you get his S3 up a little more often than you're allowed. You should be allowed to.
And I to not sacrifice too many stuns, I put the CP on Despair who was on Vio before. So I just swapped the sets. But the CP on Despair can deal with Josephine a lot better than the more.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Vio more too, or Despair more too. Like sometimes Despair would actually get you beat by Junos.
Yeah.
And like Vio is a billion times better versus those Juno situations where she just can't stop fucking stunning you for some reason.
Yeah. And also Moore does so much damage. I have seen so many matches where I just won because he procced, so he had S2 again, and I just killed them out of nothing, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's once I'm done being a degenerate, I imagine I'm gonna go into this Vio more first pick. I was testing first pick Jamayer for a little bit because I needed something that like works with Tian Lang as a counter pick, just because he's so easy to throw down, right? But I don't want to take a bar booster or a bar absorb. I want to take a speed lead, so I said, okay, let me try Jamayer. It was really good. I liked it to a point, and
then he got out of C3, and all of a sudden it wasn't as good anymore.
Pretty much that. And then I realized I needed a tableau, and then I realized I needed a tableau. Pretty much, that's what it was. If I had a tableau, it'd be cooler to have it use Jamayer as a first pick. But I imagine at least I'm not gonna call it, but I have a feeling Vio Moore actually might be the best first pick for turn 1 players down as soon as the meta.
I mean, honestly, I think Despair Moore lost a lot of value just when Josephine got buffed, kinda. I think it's still good, but
and Patter.
Yeah, and Patter too, true. And honestly, I think Swift Moore kinda works, but I don't think you want your fast Swift sets on a Moore. Like I think it's like you would still put your but you have like even faster sets than that.
Yeah,
you just
this
have
sound like
really
my
good Swifts.
4th set or whatever.
Yeah. Like my fastest Swift would be 10 speed slower than that, so no way I'm putting him on Swift. So but I think Vio has a lot more value than Despair right now. It might change again in the future, but I really like Vio right now.
Yeah, no, it's a really good meta call for like what people are playing right now. Because the other thing too, it's like with Despair more, because his strip chance is kind of or whatever. It's like at best you're really hoping to strip like maybe 2 of them, hopefully stun 1 or whatever, and then like you feel okay. But now with the Josephine, it's like strip 2 stun 1. Yeah, strip 2 stun 1 was what you were hoping for. Now you don't even want that anymore. Like now it's a negative for you. So it's like it's
you
just
end up
really
the
weird.
Josephine too on top of that.
Yeah, and then if it is the Josephine, then you lose that. Yeah,
I think it's the right play. I don't know.
And honestly, we all had those matches with Despair Moore where you like think you have your passive back again, then you get a random despair stun from a Truna or something, and you can't get your passive up again and can't cycle again.
Yep.
If you proc there, you just win.
Yep.
If you don't, if you're despair, you just lose.
Yep.
So
yeah. No, it's a good call. I think the person I just fought is more procced on me like 3 times. It wasn't enough, but
I love it.
oh yeah, it was Mother G, and yeah, she uses a Vio one, and yeah,
she was in my chat, and I remember her saying that she took Douglas against you. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Douglas isn't even whatever.
Yeah, Douglas didn't do anything in that match.
Douglas
just
into
died.
Feng Mulong.
I just like to shit talk it.
Icarus,
Yeah,
nice, yeah,
I think my Feng did like 80% to the Douglas with the 1S1, and his revenge hit is like, I don't know, 5 HP off the Feng.
So
yeah. So, but
yeah. Perfect amount.
I mean, it's just a weird meta. Like, I can't even blame her. Like, she doesn't know what the fuck's going on. I have a Wedgeot and a Fang and a Icarus. Like, she doesn't know I don't know what the fuck's going on. Neither does she. Like, it's just chaos.
I do really like the uprise of Feng Yan right now. I don't know if it was Obabo. Was Obabo the one pushing it out for everyone?
Yes. Yeah.
But honestly, I still don't understand how that happened, because there's nothing in the meta or in the balance patch that changed that made Feng in any way better. Nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
I think there was just a sudden realization that everything Water Holly beat, Feng kind of just beat it too. So it's like, maybe I'll just bring both.
Yeah, but also I see people just picking Feng against the Water Holly Berry because he can 1v1 her.
Yeah, he shreds her.
But still, I think if someone picks Feng early, you can just still, if you are smart a little bit, you can just outdraft him just like you did before,
100%,
and you win.
100%.
That's hilarious. I think it's cool. Like, it's cool though. Like, what did you think Feng Yan was coming out of the fucking woodworks?
I think it's really cool, but I also think with the balance patch, people lost so many brain cells.
Yep.
That's how
it's a lot of experimenting. I don't want to roast people's brain cells yet. It's still very early to be roasting brain cells. As much as I love to roast brain cells, especially my own.
Yeah.
Let people dick around, experiment. You know.
Yeah, I love it.
It's fun. I'm having fun. I'm still having fun.
Yeah, honestly, aside from like the crazy like RNG swings that this game has, like this meta has actually felt like a lot more like Pokemon to me, where like. So like a big thing in competitive Pokemon is like how well a Pokemon, like we call it trades, like how well do you trade, like how much damage do you take on average when you get hit versus like how much damage do you deal back when you hit, and like that's like Hollyberry, Fang, Masha, like those like that is what those units do. They take good trades. Like it's really hard to deal big damage to a Fang, but it's really easy for Fang to deal big damage back. So it's like it's just like it's all these units that just trade really well, where it's like super hard to deal 20% to a Water Holly, but she does 40% every time she revenges. So it's kind of cool in that sense. I just don't like the RNG aspect of it, where it's like.
And I really still don't know how it happened, but it's really cool. Somehow this meta is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy fun.
It just feels like more Mashas. Like it feels like there's just more Mashas in the game, because like that she was like the one unit that just took really good trades for a while, where it's like she's always immune, so you can never get like really like clean shots off on her, but her damage back to you was always like massive. And now it's like Water Holly feels like a Water Masha, where it's like once she gets her immunity up, that cycle never ends. So it's really difficult. Like you have to somehow combo a strip with a lockdown to ever really get her under control. And for every turn that you don't get her under control, she's just clobbering you. So
that's true.
Yeah. But it's interesting. I mean, I think it'll kind of die down pretty quickly when people have more.
I give it 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 more? Not bad. I want to know how you're upholding a turn 1 comp in this economy, Zig, because it doesn't make any sense.
Clara.
Yeah, but how are you first picking it? You need to explain this to me.
Well, I mean, right now it's working mostly because people are so stuck on this like Water Holly stuff like that, where it's like they're not really drafting like the proper I have first picked Clara every single wing so far this season, and I have not fought a Hagang. Like, please explain that to me. Like,
but people,
it's like, what is going on? I have not fought a single Hagang. Like, it's just, people have lost their minds.
Yeah, people are just using the water cookie instead because they use it instead of everything.
Yeah. And like, people's builds are all over the place too. Like, I fought a ton of Paters, and like, not one of them has been fast enough to actually cut my comp.
Yeah, but you need to have him like plus 175 or something at least. I think even more probably.
Yeah, but
with 20,
but why even pick him? Why pick like if he's not going to cut? There's no business picking him. Like,
which unit do you want is supposed to cut your Clara? If I took a pattern against
it's my Ganny.
What am I? It would be your Ganny.
Yeah, 179. It's not. It's on Vile. Dude, these Paters are literally. I sent you replays of them. They're at half bar at the beginning of the match. They're at 50% attack bar at the beginning of the match. Like, what do you think this thing's gonna do?
Everybody but me. You guys all let me down. We worked on getting a patter buff. We got the patter buff, and you're rooting it at plus 120 speed. It is,
dude.
Like 165. No, not even 165. I think PP's right. 175. 15 bar equates to about 50 speed gained, and then you have a 5 bar on top of that. There's a little bit of manipulation that happens here and there.
Yeah, you probably get like 65-ish speed,
like that's
kind of tacked on.
Yeah. So how are you? Like,
yeah.
And I've spoken.
I mean,
about
it's usually speed lead versus no speed lead. To be fair, right? So I usually have either 24 or 19, and then the Pater usually has none. But
I think people kind of, for some reason, think they have to put Pater on crit damage. Like they think they have to.
Nothing needs to be on crit damage in this meta.
Yeah.
Let's trade. Ziggy, let's trade. Trade screens.
What?
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking. Hold on, you'll see.
Yeah, I kind of think people try to, for some reason, have him on certain stats that he doesn't really need, so they can't get enough speed anymore for some reason. Because why else would they be so slow?
Yeah, like it. Well, I guess we'll ended up talking about Patter for a little bit here. So mine's a little bit faster, but first of all, if you own a Patter, taking it. Rooting it up to be one of your main picks is not a bad thing. You're gonna use it a lot. A unit despair, if it's not even despair that's in the meta. There's a lot of stuns in the meta, whether it's in your control or not. If Patter stuns something with his S1 and then Josephine revenges it and stuns it, you gain that 20 bar. You can force a stun onto him to gain bar and to take another turn ahead of another unit if you have your S3. There's a lot of stuff that you'll learn when you use a pattern, but don't give it a 160 set like I would give my Delphoy, for example, and hope to cut something. Yeah. What are you gonna cut? You cut it, and you don't need crit damage. This pattern will do 20 to 25k. My artifacts are like okay on it for the. I should probably change that receive from fire. Marsha's kind of falling out, but. This build here does a lot of damage. And when he's a dog, he gets additional HP, meaning his S2 does more damage. Therefore, he doesn't need crit damage. Give him speed and crit rate, HP. No accuracy. Forget that.
I think for some people who might not have maybe the fast runes to build it, I think you can even get a little bit of value from like if you have an old arty with like speed under an ability effect or something, if you have something like that, it's super great on him.
I do have that, but I had it for Jean, not for Patter.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good on him because if he gets that tech bar and also gains like 20 speed just from the artifact, it will help you cut for sure. If you have, you can't search for it. It's
all the Paters have really like come out of hibernation this week for me, and it's like I don't know. I don't even know if I've lost to one yet though, because it's just like it's so funny because they're either too slow or like I'll finally fight one that has some like decent speed and my Clara just doesn't stun it. Like it's not a Gianna, you know what I mean? Like I'm not like it's very rare that Clara is just like sweeping the deck with 4 stuns. Like it's pretty often that I'm leaving 2 or 3 of those units not stunned. So like he's almost not even much of a Clara counter. But yeah, Josephine's been rough. She's the biggest issue. But
aren't you like the only one using Clara though in RTA?
I think I think she's gonna get a little bit. I think she's gonna get a little bit more popular once people start gravitating back towards turn 1, which is how it always goes.
I think Clara is kinda like a Swift Tableau as a last pick, right? Some people used to last pick Swift Tableau if they need another speed lead and also a speed threat. And I think Clara just does the same.
That's exactly how I'm using my Clara as a last pick Swift unit, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I first pick it though is because like it kind of forces people into like show me your hand. Like, are you going the counter route, or are we going to speed battle here? And then it's like after I've forced you to show me that, and if it is a speed battle, well then Clara's got my fastest Swift set, so I'm all ready to start going down that draft route. But if you're going to go hard counter, you probably have to start picking those units right now, because it's like you're not just going to pick Oliver Masha, right? Like Clara's just going to farm those 2, so it's like you have to kind of.
Do people actually speed contest you? I mean, if they
like people like Thompson, yeah, because he has like, but it's like there's some people still out there just running like Triton, Zibala, Yonhong, double speed lead, and then it's like, I don't care what my Swift runes look like, I'm not outspeeding that. It's too, those base speeds are way too fucking high.
True.
And they're all so impactful. It's like Zibala just like changes the way that turn 1 is played. And the only person that has picked it versus me this entire season has been Thompson.
Yeah.
No one's playing it. She's so good. She's even good versus the turn 2 stuff.
I think Zibala is basically the reason why I put like everything on Will now. I had so much stuff off Will.
That's what I was gonna tail into.
My Moore was off Will. Before I changed it, my Josephine was even off Will because I just didn't need it.
You didn't need it, yeah.
My Masha was on Nemesis. My word is still on Triple Revenge. My one word, the other word isn't. But I put them all on Will now.
Yep.
Just because Zibala is so fucking OP.
Yeah, like
That's funny. I was gonna say funny though. The moment Ziggy even started putting his shit on Will after that happened, you stopped fighting it.
You do. You immediately stop fighting it. It's like, what the fuck's going on? But like even like my Ethna, because like, so I do use Swift Ethna, but I have it so that it's 1 speed behind my Clara, no matter what lead I take. So I'm not going like all out speed on my Ethna. So even that had to go to Will, because if it's going to be behind my Clara and a Zibala outspeeds my Clara, then it's going to get to cool down my Ethna. So it's like even Ethna. I never thought I'd have Will on a Swift Ethna in my life. And here I am. Like,
here you are not even fighting it.
I think Zibala, another thing that makes Zibala kind of hard to deal with is because Zibala really boosts the really good LD strippers.
Yep.
Like I think if you don't have a Veronica, Gianna, Valantis, stuff like that, like the good LD strippers, if you don't have any of those, Zibala doesn't have that much of a value.
Yeah.
Like he has with them. Because if the enemy is full Will, you kind of need to use S2 on your stripper, and if it's just like a Moore or something, then it's kind of unreliable again, or kind of not as impactful.
I mean, in my opinion though, like the ultimate Zibala draft, and this is what I would immediately be doing if I pull her, is either Despair or Violent Clara with Triton that moves in front of Zibala, then Zibala, and then you can have any other speed lead, any other AoE, because then at that point it's like, if you leave Triton with the Zibala, then Triton just strips for the Zibala. If you ban the Triton so that he can't strip for Zibala, then Zibala boosts of like a Vio or a Despair Clara who really like puts it down on you, and then stuff like that. But
Yeah.
And then you can play around Verd if that happens, and you can play around. That's actually really toxic. You don't even bother trying to outspeed that, really.
Yeah, I mean, it crushes Verd.
And
Verd wouldn't even be an
eliminate
option versus
Hagang
that.
too with having a Triton that moves first. Hagang's like off the counter.
Yeah, because he puts down 40 bar, so
yeah,
it's
but
yeah 35, whatever the hell. But
don't get it right.
Imagine having Zibala. I mean, honestly, I think Zibala wouldn't do as much for me as I'm just too slow. Like, honestly, my fastest Swift on Zibala would be like plus 210.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate her. I don't hate her as a violent unit. Like,
not much better for me.
Nah, I think I would use her on violent actually.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with. She has the Shizuka S2 basically.
Yeah.
Like her S3 is such a low cooldown. Like already, her S3 has like basically no cooldown, and then she can use S2 on herself, which is fucking absurd.
Yeah. I mean, the S3 had 3
Look at that, bro!
Right?
3 turns.
Yeah, and also she CCs for 2 turns basically, right?
Yeah, it's no downtime if you're S2ing yourself. If you get to S3 and then you start S2ing yourself, there's no downtime. You are permanently locked down by this one unit. Assuming she's landing. If she's missing, then who knows? But
pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah.
And to think that unit's not being used right, she's like a sub 1% pick rate or some bullshit like that. I can't.
This people didn't pull her or what? People stopped wailing. Which is it?
I don't know.
I mean, I didn't pull her, but I also don't have the cookie and other stuff. So
I tried so hard to get Zibala. It's the most I've ever spent in this game. It's the most I ever will spend in this game. I
popped to get Zibala.
I popped 23 blessings on SP button and.
Everything about Zibala.
Honestly, I mean,
if
you're talking about Zibala, I kind of want to talk about the wind puppeteer too.
Yeah,
I think nobody's using it.
I dodged her too. I got 7 Zimas, no wind, no water.
I think nobody literally ever is using her. I didn't see it at least. But if I had one, I'm pretty sure I would use it a lot. It's kind of good.
I fought one yesterday, I think.
Like, it's not bad at all.
It's such an interesting passive. Like I love the way that the passive looks on paper. I mean, like I have no idea until I use her, but
I think I think honestly she's really underrated. I mean, I didn't test her at all because I don't have it.
Right. Yeah.
And I didn't see much of it, so it's hard to say, but it sounds so great. Then also the S2 is, I don't know if you probably know, but it doesn't hit at all. So you can stun a Douglas with it and bomb it. So the Douglas is dead, basically. Just from a wind unit. Who also passively counters the whole team.
That is pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. I like the idea of her a lot.
At the start of each turn, meaning so when she takes a turn,
her turn.
I think it just go. I think it just go a really fast, like Vionem or maybe even. Or something
definitely
like that,
Vio. Definitely Vio.
Or Revenge. Maybe in Revenge.
You could do that. Yeah, Vio Revenge.
And like on a pretty fast set, just tanky as fuck with some attack for the bomb. And I think she's great against turn cycle stuff that doesn't have immunity.
Yep. Yeah, I like the idea of her. I wish I had at least pulled her. I mean, anything's better than 7 of the fire one, but
I didn't pull any of the things.
Puppets.
Yeah.
No, I haven't pulled a puppet either yet.
The fire one I think is actually really close to being good. She's very close, but they need something else. The S3 cannot just be cleanse block. That's way too like how it just doesn't.
And honestly, I hate that this cleanse block doesn't counter Juno. I hate that so much. It doesn't even counter Tetra. It counters nothing of the units that you actually want to counter.
Yeah, the ridiculous thing about it is that it going away counts as it being cleansed. So like even though it says that it prevents people from removing beneficial effects. But what it actually does is it makes the cleanse that they use hit this instead. So what that does is if you put it on Hagang, his cleanse will go off, target that debuff, and then he'll still get the extra bar as if he cleansed. But the skill says that they're not allowed to cleanse, but it still counts as them cleansing.
I think if they would just fix this debuff in general, I mean, all the units that have it are shit. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
legit.
if they just make the debuff do that what it's supposed to do,
yeah,
like counter cleanse. if it would
is that too much to ask?
Then I think it would be legit.
Yeah, like Juno, if she has 4 debuffs, up, it'll target that one and then still heal her. Because
it heals, but it heals for the full amount of debuffs,
Yeah.
not for this one.
Yeah.
It heals for the 4.
Really?
Yeah, it's so bad.
Okay.
It's so dumb.
And Tetra, for example, doesn't count as a cleanse because it just shortens the amount the time of the debuff.
Yeah.
Which is a cleanse, man. That's a cleanse.
How does it work with do you guys remember how it works with Veramos then? Veramos is forced
Veramos cleanses.
It cleanses that debuff. But then Vero gets a shitload of bar because all the rest of the debuffs are still up. So
it doesn't counter a single passive cleanse unit.
Nope.
Which sucks because
like Raccoon will still just get rid of it, heal that thing, etc. Yeah. Like it's just
that's really dumb.
It should stay on that unit and just prevent it from being cleansed in any way, shape, or form. This unit, for 2 turns, cannot have a cleanse effect happen to it. That is it.
We want it to work like how beneficial buff block works.
Right. Yeah, when they go to put up a buff block doesn't just go away.
Yeah.
It just blocks it.
That's true.
Could you imagine?
Would that be? Would that actually be broken though, or no?
I don't know. Who knows?
Because if they thinking about the units that actually have. Oh, hold on. Banished it. The units that actually have that skill. Don't tell me it's not even in here. Oh, this one. Yeah, there's not many that have it all. Why the fuck did they give it to Domatov?
I didn't know he had it.
They gave him a couple patches ago.
They gave him Oblivion and this on the stream.
Oh. When we asked for more Oblivion use, they gave on the worst.
I do remember him getting Oblivion, but I didn't know he got that other thing too.
Yeah, he got that as well for some reason.
Let's assume they buff that skill to be really good, because if it does work like that, it's a really good debuff. It only affects. Okay, forget the fucking.
I think it only affects Fire Puppeteer.
Yeah.
Honestly.
No, but these guys.
You could pick Beth in a Rika slot in very particular situations. Fire Demon.
I think you could pick Fire Demon on Swift for the S.
Something that's true.
And then Tableau to give it another turn, and then put the cleanse block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think it's not going to be broken. It depends what they add in.
It'll never be broken. That's for sure.
Cleanse blocking should not really.
But the Fire Puppeteer would be legit if the debuff would be legit.
Yeah, I mean, the most common cleansers before she even existed already innately counter that debuff. It's she never even had a chance.
Do you know if it's like Gianna? So if you land the strip, it also lands this? No, right?
It's 2 act checks. Of course it is.
So it's already not that good because a lot of cleansers are water.
Yep.
Right?
It's super hard to land on water.
So it's already not that good, even if the debuff would be like it should be.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you get a single hit chance. And then there's also the thing, too, with units like that, it's she's 100 base speed. You're going to have to give her pretty fucking good runes to actually utilize her. But then that debuff, even if that debuff was good, it's only valid in games where they have cleanses. Right? Every other game, it's not even a valid debuff. So.
But I really like the S2 of them. Because the bomb and also the stun and both doesn't touch at all.
Yeah, it's good. Cool. It's really good.
That's good.
But
none of us have it, apparently. Oh, except for...
I mean, I have Zima. And I used her for a while. The first couple weeks of her being out, I was using her a lot. But literally use any other stripper and you're better off. Pick one. They're all better. Yeah. So
it's a real shame.
I think one of the very niche units that came out with the balance patch or got buffed with the balance patch is the gingerbread man. I think he's pretty cool in some little situations.
Yeah.
If the enemy has like not much besides speed threats,
yeah,
then he can be really good.
Dude, what was that secret number that he used to sit at? So he like.
I think he gets 30 extra speed.
He gets 30.
Full HP.
Yeah.
Was it just 30?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's enough.
Just 30. What do you mean? It's a free 33 lead, basically.
Well, yeah, I'm saying.
Honestly, I think if you have great runes, which a lot of people have, I think the build you go for is not even Swift, it's fucking Vio. Like plus 190 Vio, still outspeeds
Vio
every
Revenge.
Swift unit.
Yeah.
And then he can just, like the S2 has no cooldown, basically.
Yeah.
S1 is pretty turn efficient with the 60% stun as well.
Yep.
So he can CC like 2 units alone if he's on Vio. Which is pretty nuts.
Yeah. No, he's really good. Like, he's one of those units where if the meta, like when the meta shifts back to turn 1, because I do think people are going to get tired of picking passives at some point.
One question: Do you think the meta is actually turn 2 now?
For right now, yeah. I don't know if that's what it's going to actually stay.
I think people are kind of trolling in turn 2 right now.
Yeah.
But I don't think the meta itself shifted to turn 2.
Yeah, I have like right now I don't even think there is a meta. So
yeah.
once a true meta develops, I could see it still being turn 1.
Yeah, I think turn 1 is still better.
It's just I just think everybody like it's always so hard to like evaluate because even when you look at like strictly win rates, the turn 2 units always have higher win rates. They just do. Like Ragdoll has higher, Onyuki has higher, Nana has always been the highest win rate, Elemental since she got buffed. It's like, but I just think the player base in general likes to have more control over their match. Yeah. Like it's just a better feeling to be like, I'm in the driver's seat. I'm dictating how this match goes, not this fucking, I hope I parry. Like
look at me, for example. I just can't play turn 1 rune-wise. I don't have the runes for it, right? So, but I still always go turn 1 when I can.
Yeah.
Because if the enemy has first pick and first picks are Molong or Shizuka or something, I will always go for more CP.
Yep.
Although they are not fast. My Moore is plus 167. He's my fastest unit in the draft.
Right.
So I'm fucking.
That's actually pretty crazy.
Hey, crazy. You don't need to be the fastest. You just need to be faster than the guy you're fighting.
Yeah.
So.
That's true. And that works pretty well for me. And yeah, I like to play turn 1. I would play it a lot more if I had the runes for it, but if you don't have them, you just can't.
Yeah. But yeah, I think in general, I don't think there's ever going to be a meta where players are preferring turn 2 because I just think just a human nature thing. We would rather be in control of the match than not. So I think that's where it's always going to gravitate. And maybe that's why some of the people who do actually have Ragdoll and like to play that style, why some of those teams have just ridiculous win rates because they're kind of feeding off the people who just have like the innate gotta go first like I do. And it's like, so I mean it's whatever. I mean right now it's just crazy.
I honestly even think turn 2 is kinda rewarding or more rewarding if you are better at drafting. It sounds weird, but I think turn 1 is actually easier to play than turn 2, like draft wise, because
you mean turn 2 versus turn 2, right? Or what do you mean?
I mean turn 2 in general, kind of. Also turn 2 against turn 1. I mean, okay, there are some people who just pick like Ragdoll or Word.
Yeah,
that's not like skill or anything. But if you actually want to counter like all the certain units of the enemy's draft, then turn 2 can get really in depth.
Yeah,
like I have 75 units ruined in RTA, and there's not a single unit that I never use.
Yeah.
So
no, I agree with that. I mean, it's just hard because like that is a really intricate play style, and like I think you can do the same thing in turn 1 metas too. But like I just feel like the game in general is just like veering away from that, where it's like the turn 1 meta too, it doesn't feel as rewarding as it used to, because it's like, okay, I've got all this tightly tuned shit, I've got really fast runes, and it's like, oh, but he has Yanhong and Escher and Han and Wunsa, and it's like, so now it's like, I never even, regardless of draft strategy, whatever, I never even stood a chance in this match because it's Han and Wunsa with Oliver and Yanhong, and that's an unbeatable combination of speed, right? Yeah. But I do think like it used to be a lot more interesting when like everyone's best set was on like Chiwu, and it was like it was achievable to like get in front of people and like, okay, like I'm gonna use Barbara in these matches, and I'm gonna do all this like other shit, like I'm gonna have a Susanoo rune just so I have an extra speed lead for my Barbara, like just weird shit. Like you always had to have like all these different pivots, but it doesn't really work like that for almost either style, because even the turn 2 guys are just like Leo, Verd, it's just the easiest way out, you know.
And on look Taurus. Where we are now, people are just picking water cookies.
Yeah. But no, that's why, like, as much as I hate fighting him, I always respect Levert's draft, like, more than anyone that I fight.
I mean, I've been in contact with Levert a lot lately because I'm on a Discord server with him, and we are talking quite a lot. And honestly, there's nobody in this game, I'm pretty sure there's literally nobody who has put so much effort into playing one particular team over fucking 5 years.
Yep.
I mean, he
gets rewarded for it.
He has re-apped a quad speed roll with 28 speed before because he needed a rune with 18 speed with 2 other rolls. He needed that. So he re-apped a speed quad roll.
Yeah.
Wait, I missed this.
So that he could set Levert.
Oh, Levert, yeah.
So that he could use that rune with that innate and
because
have an 18 or something else. Yeah,
he literally does everything he does in this game. He does only for his RTA team and his box.
Yeah.
Like nothing else happens.
And I respect that. I like seeing a guy. Crazy. I like seeing a guy like that succeed. I do not want to see somebody succeed because their Verd fucking went off or their Antares went crazy. Like that's the shit I don't want to see. Like, like the fact that this dude's Annabelle has 50,000 of every single stat and is still 100 res. That guy deserves to win shit. Like,
I mean, he also has every rune, like plus 10% on every stat and 5 speed. But his Annabelle has one rune which has a +3 grind, and he can't grind it faster because then the speed tuning is off.
Yeah, I actually have some stuff like that. I have a couple of runes that I keep at 3 to
it's so funny because he has like +10 and +5 on literally every stat, but then there's one rune with +3 speed, and he just can't change it.
Yep.
Just one day he might accidentally do it, and then everything's in shambles.
He's actually re-upping on that slot. Like I think he re-upped since half a year or something. One rune. He needs 18 speed +5 instead of 20 +3, and then 2 rolls on something else. That's what he's going
to make
for
it more
right
efficient.
Now.
Oh, that's the one he's okay. Yeah. That's Levert's something else.
Yeah, he's really
different. But it's rewarding though. Like that's the thing that's satisfying. And like Thompson plays like that too. Like Thompson also throws a lot of money at the game, but he also will like he wants to make, like he was talking about it last week on the podcast, like with his Dominic, how he felt bad it got hurt or whatever. It's because like he wants to specifically build a very specific Dominic. So he's taking these specific runes with specific innates, re-apping the shit out of them until this has 18 and this has 24 and this has whatever. And he just goes and goes and goes and goes for seasons and seasons and seasons. Now his Dominic is the perfect speed, has a gazillion stats, and
I think honestly the funniest part about Livert is all his units are so efficient, but I would still say his playstyle is the most inefficient playstyle you can do.
It is,
like not RTA wise, but in general. Like he could never do siege because he only has runes for 15 units, and those runes are perfect, but he can't rune anything else.
Yeah,
which is kind of.
That's all you need. 15, you're set.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. But I
isn't
respect it.
Isn't it funny though how like I just love his account in general too. Like how it's like he gets an LD5, it's a chroma. Of course it's fucking a chroma. And then Leona, and it's like, of course it's Leona. Like it's just like so fucking perfect. It's like
honestly, before the balance patch came, he was like rank 2 or 3 or something.
Yep.
And I was thinking, I don't think he will finish like that. But honestly, then the balance patch came, and it was Seimei buff, which he owns. It was Dominic nerf, which was his biggest counter.
Yep.
And now I think he's going for legend. Honestly, he's doing it.
Nothing.
I want to see why not.
Nothing would make me happier than him getting legend with Annabelle and that stuff, man.
Annabelle first.
I would rather see him get legend than myself, just because it's so funny to me, like how different he plays, and I just think that should be rewarded.
Yeah. And it's pretty funny. He can't, even if he wanted to, he just can't change his playstyle anymore right now, ever.
And he's too deep in now.
No, but it's never bad for him though, just because he's. Yeah. I don't know how he pulls it off though. I guess like when turn 1 was like super, all the ATB pushback, but now, what's stopping him?
Yeah, literally nothing.
What? There's nothing in this meta that.
His efficiency is just too high, and
because that's what wins now. That's what wins now. Is rune efficiency. Even if it's, let's say turn 1 doesn't come out of this.
But he's also an incredible drafter too, though. Like the big thing with that is like your last 2 picks. When that is your draft and you have first pick, your last 2 picks pretty much need to be perfect every single game, or you're going to get your ass clapped by turn 1 over and over again.
But with his case, though, it's even if there's a perfect draft, he can overcome really bad RNG still. That's that's the beauty of his. That's what gives you like that extra 5-10% of total win rate in the season, is that his efficiency is so nuts. Even if he's so unfortunate, he will still come on top.
Yeah. I think what's pretty funny is... Wait, I wanted to say something. But no, it's not that funny anymore. I don't remember. Okay, whatever.
Because I kept rambling. Is Lavert still on? I want to see if Lavert's awake.
But yeah, it's just like... It's crazy. I wish more people, like...
Look at this fucking slackers. I'm
offline because I don't want to sit here with my phone all the time, which would be kind of
man. Oh, Lavert's sleeping. That's fine.
But like I kind of miss the people who used to be like dedicated cleavers. You know what I mean? Like I've never been good at cleave. I always try it every once in a while, and then I get tilted, and then I stop, and then but I always appreciated people who are just like, I cleave. Fuck the meta. I cleave. Yeah. This is what I do. I have re-apped Swift for 1,000 years, and I
think you kind of have to have some certain LDs now.
You have to. Yep.
Like if you don't have a Neftis or a
Ongyuki
or a Maximilian or Ongyuki or whatever, you kind of can't, right?
No, you can't.
Mean, all the high cleavers like how
or Wol Young
even and stuff like that, they all have like some good LD.
Yeah, you almost can't even call it cleave at that point. Like it's just like, I mean, it's cleave in the sense that it does damage and its goal is to kill you, but it's like it's really just a very specific L&D comp. Like it's not like there is no style to it or alternatives or what. Like if you've got like what House has what Maximilian, Craig, Eludia, Grogan. I don't even know. Like he needs. Pretty much any L&D that you would classify in the cleave category, pretty much he has it. Like you can't replicate that. I don't care what your runes look like. If you don't have those units, you can't replicate that. You're not just gonna bestat Lucian and get the same results that team gets. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah. So Apps has that same value.
Yep. Too, I think, right? Asimo, Wol Young, Maxi. Dark Robot.
Even Nikki against some slow teams, maybe. I don't think he's using it, but he could.
Yep. Yeah. She slams. Yeah, it's a shame. I hope they give Cleave... I hope they give Cleave at least enough love to where those guys can actually play. Like, every friend I ever had that cleaved in this game, none of them still play Summoner's War. And like these are some of the biggest addicts and like spenders that this game ever had, and they all were just like, all right, it doesn't work anymore. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a shame.
Can't knock him for it.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I've always played Control, and it's always been at least relevant. Like, so, I mean, even in Gani Hathor meta, I didn't have Gani or Hathor, but there were still alternatives like Okeanos and stuff like that. But yeah,
the good old days. I really like how this meta is shaping up. For even if you do want to do CC, it is doable, but you need a rune quality to it. That's what I like. You do need a certain rune quality to pull it off. Because I know most likely turn one's coming out, and even I'm going to get really bored of what I'm doing and go into turn one myself again. I can't keep up with this first pick Water Holly and just being a degenerate.
Yeah, you can only get clapped so many times without moving before you switch over to turn one.
Like it did happen. Yeah, like it happened to me. Where was it? Like it wasn't even that long. Like maybe 3. Where's forgetting how to do this? I can't remember where it was. Bulwark is really good this meta too. Obviously against the Water Holly. If for some reason you didn't know that yet, I think it was this one. No, it wasn't this one. Either way, I got steamrolled, right? Taking this garbage. Like, look what I'm drafting. It works, except for that one guy.
Yeah, you're the worst.
Yeah, I'm getting worse. But anyway.
But yeah, we can call it there. We're right at an hour. That's good. We won't drag out another 2-hour plus podcast like last week. But
let's go to sleep.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah,
great to have you.
Good luck with the rest of your season.
Oh,
and don't forget, Penis is streaming on Twitch.
Yes.
It'll be in the description.
Not often, but sometimes.
Some people don't check the description. We'll put it in the comments too, just in case.
Yep. All right. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.